What'd you just realize?
Alright guys, so here's the truth. Leg day sucks with only 25 grams of carbs. We did 10 sets of leg curl for 10 reps, kind of German volume training style with a minute. So basically, Betsy went, I went, Betsy went, I went. We did some squats. I think we did about 7-8 sets of squats. Didn't go real heavy, just shot for 12 to 15 reps. And now we're working on hack squats. So nothing crazy, nothing heavy. Just trying to really focus on the squeeze and focus on your form and really kind of feeling it in the muscle. So leg day sucks right now. Just kind of living in a cloud.
He's doing so great though. Can you see you do a set when you go? Take your time. Big man needs recovery time. Good. Just want you guys to notice that he's going really slow on the way down. That's called the eccentric phase of this motion, and basically that's really keeping the tension on the muscle. People really focus on the explosion up, which is the concentric phase, but the eccentric is just as important. He's really hitting his quadriceps here. See how his knee never quite goes over his toe? It's going to be a lot better in your knee joint. So you're putting your knee in a pretty precarious position anytime you're squatting or doing any type of motion like this. Good job, Nick. 25 grams of carbs, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you guys. This is part 2 of leg day. Y'all just saw Nick doing hack squats, which was just one part of our workout. We really love to focus on that eccentric control, which is something you just saw, and it's definitely a big bodybuilder thing. And we really like to focus on the eccentric because you can actually lift a little bit more that way. The way you may not be able to push a weight concentrically, you'll be able to lower the weight eccentrically, and you're still taxing the muscle. It's a little bit more dangerous, so definitely use a spotter if you're going to use those techniques, especially if you're doing something like squatting, which is what we did. We had a really good workout. Nick and I both bring different things to the table. I'm a little bit more functional. I have a background in functional training, which I miss a lot. And right now I'm going to school for my doctoral in physical therapy. So that being said, obviously I'm quite a bit more functional, especially for we talking about venturing into the bodybuilding realm. Nick tends to be a little bit more hypertrophy focused, hypertrophy meaning muscle building, which means you tend to stay in a pretty high rep range between, they say 8 to 15, but really anywhere from like 8 to 20, sometimes even higher, because you really want to shock the muscle sometimes with really, really high rep isolation exercises. And so we'll start off with something like today, for instance. It's always different. We never do the same thing when we go to the gym. Sometimes we'll start off with leg extensions, really get blood flowing into the quads, and then we'll go and lift something really heavy, a heavy compound exercise like a squat. Obviously you can't go as heavy with the squats after you've pre-fatigued. That's what that's called, where you do an isolation exercise on that muscle before you go into a heavy compound exercise. It makes it work a lot harder. It's a great tool to kind of trigger that hypertrophy focused training. And so today we actually started off with the compound. So what we did, we went to heavy squats. We did 4 sets, just ass to grass squats, and then we moved to 4 sets of box squats. Box squats where you're gonna sit back onto a bench and you're gonna explode up from that box. So you can obviously go a lot heavier there because it's more quadricep focused than it is hamstring or glutes. You get more glute focus the lower you go into the squat. After you break that 90-degree angle, then you're really talking about glutes and hamstrings, much more than quads. So, I mean, that's great because then we're getting everything in there. Squats, you have to focus on the squats if you want to build your legs. I mean, honestly, the biggest improvement I had this year was definitely my legs. Always wanted big legs, we were just talking about this a little bit earlier, but Arnold Schwarzenegger, the greatest bodybuilder that ever lived, emphasized that you should really just embrace your shortcomings, embrace your flaws. If it was your legs, then you wear shorts. So that's what I did. I started wearing shorts all the time. I wore them to work. I wore them to the gym. I hated it. I hated it so much because I didn't like my legs. I didn't think I looked like a figure girl. I thought, geez, I have these tiny, scrawny little legs. I was 105 pounds like all my life. Now I'm 135, and I have built my legs so much. So embrace your flaws. The more you can become comfortable with those things that make you a prisoner, the easier it is to break free from them. You become more comfortable with your own flaws, and then they don't really seem like imperfections anymore at all. Now I love my legs. I don't care if they're little or if they're not. You gotta love yourself no matter what. Another thing I wanted to bring up is something that a lot of people make fun of me for in the gym. Comment if you guys do this too, but I take like pre-workouts, like samples or whatever it is, and I just eat them like pixie sticks. So when my energy starts going down in the gym, I just kind of, I don't even know what this is. I got this in a sample bag. A little pep in your step for like 5 minutes, and you're good to go. Yeah, my energy gets so low carb. I don't know how Nick does it. 25 carbs. He's a maniac. I had 25 carbs and 20 grams of protein for breakfast, 25 carbs and 20 grams of protein for second breakfast, and then went to the gym, and then I had a protein shake waiting for me. As soon as you are done training, you need to, basically, your muscles store carbohydrates. And when you weight train, you use all those carbohydrates. You just tap into those energy stores. So you need to basically replenish them right away. So it's really good. A lot of people are kind of iffy about whey protein shakes. The evidence is really, really good for recovery and especially for muscle building too. Just take in a quick protein shake. They're not going to make you fat. They're not going to make you bulky. It's about 120 calories.